There's something magical about candy. Not just the sugar or the bright colors, but the feeling. That crinkly paper in your pocket. That first bite after school. That one piece you'd trade your sandwich for at lunch. In small moments, candy was childhood. And while some sweets have stood the test of time, others have quietly vanished, leaving behind only memories and the faintest taste of the past. Today, we're looking at 10 forgotten American candies that tasted like childhood. So unwrap a memory, and let's take a sweet little walk down memory lane. 1. PB Max, the peanut butter powerhouse. Introduced in the early 90s, but made with the heart of the 80s, PB Max was a crunchy cookie topped with peanut butter and coated in milk chocolate. It was rich, satisfying, and felt like a grown-up candy in a kid's world. It had a loyal following, but surprisingly, Mars pulled it off shelves, not because it wasn't selling, but because the company didn't like peanut butter. Yep, seriously. One of the best peanut butter candies ever made, lost to boardroom taste buds. Kids who had it remember that thick layer of peanut butter like it was yesterday. 2. Marathon Bar, the candy that stretched time. In the 1970s, the Marathon Bar was an 8-inch twist of chocolate-covered caramel with a bright red ruler on the wrapper. It wasn't just candy, it was a challenge. You could stretch it, twist it, bite it, and still have more left. It lasted forever, or at least it felt that way. Marathon disappeared in the early 80s, possibly too unique for its time. Today, folks still search for it online, hoping to find a taste of that chewy, chocolatey past. 3. Bonkers, the candy that made you smile. Literally, Bonkers hit the scene in the 1980s with one of the wildest TV commercials around. A chewy fruit candy with a punch of filling inside. Bite into one and bam, a wave of flavor. The ads showed people getting hit with giant fruit from the sky and breaking into laughter. And that's kind of what it felt like. Silly, weird, and delicious. But by the early 2000s, Bonkers were quietly pulled off shelves. No warning, no farewell. Just gone, like the punchline of a good joke. 4. Razzles. First it's candy, then it's gum. Razzles weren't just candy. They were a transformation. You'd pop one in, and it started like a sweet, chalky tablet. Then suddenly, it became gum. They were fun, mysterious, and made you feel like a magician. Razzles first came out in the 60s and stuck around for decades, but they slowly faded from the spotlight as newer gum candy hybrids came along. Some specialty stores still carry them, but if you had a pack in your lunchbox, you remember the surprise of that first chew. 5. Lik-M-Aid Fun Dip, Sweet Powdered Chaos. Fun Dip was the kind of candy that left a mess, and we loved it for that. 3 pouches of bright-colored sugar powder and a white candy stick for dipping. The green one turned your tongue neon. The red one was sour but addicting. The stick? Chalky perfection. Though Fun Dip technically still exists, the classic flavors and old-school packaging have changed. The original version felt more like a sugar ritual than a snack. 6. Reggie Bar, a home run of a treat. In 1978, the Reggie Bar hit candy counters with all the flair of a baseball star. Named after Yankees slugger Reggie Jackson, it was a round chocolate bar filled with caramel and peanuts. It wasn't just candy, it was sports history. Fans threw them on the field when Reggie hit a home run. The bar disappeared by the mid-80s, but it's remembered by kids who grew up eating candy named after heroes. 7. 7-Up Bar, 1 candy, 7 surprises. Imagine a candy bar with 7 different flavors in 7 little squares. That was the 7-Up Bar, a sweet adventure in every bite. From coconut to cherry to caramel, you never knew which square you were about to hit. It was exciting, playful, and totally unique. But as production costs rose, the bar quietly disappeared in the 1970s. Nothing quite like it has returned, making it one of the most creative and forgotten candy ideas ever. 8. Astro Pops, rocket fuel for kids. Astro Pops looked like little rockets, and that was no accident. Created by 2 rocket scientists in the 60s, they were hard, colorful lollipops shaped like missiles. Kids loved the bold colors and sharp point, though maybe that sharp point is what did them in. Astro Pops were sweet, dangerous fun. They vanished in the early 2000s, then returned briefly with a safer shape. But the original? That was pure space-age candy wonder. 9. Wax bottles, sweet sips from childhood. Also known as Nik-L-Nips, these wax bottles were filled with colored sugar water. You'd bite the top off, drink the syrup, then, If you were brave, chew the wax like gum. It wasn't about flavor. It was about fun. They were strange, silly, and a little gross, which is probably why we love them. You can still find them in some retro candy shops, but they've mostly vanished from the mainstream, leaving behind sticky memories and waxy fingers. 10. Bar None, the forgotten chocolate giant. Bar None was Nestle's chocolate powerhouse of the 80s. It had a crunchy chocolate wafer, crushed peanuts, and a thick layer of chocolate on top. It was rich, heavy, and oh so satisfying. For a while, it was the candy bar, the chocolate lover's bar, as the slogan said. But changes to the recipe and packaging led to its downfall. By the early 90s, Bar None disappeared, and with it, one of the most underrated candy bars of its time. Warm, reflective tone. Candy wasn't just candy. It was freedom. It was a bike ride to the corner store. It was the sound of a coin hitting the counter and a little white bag full of magic. Some of these treats are gone, but their memories live on in the minds and taste buds of every kid who once held them in sticky hands. Which one of these candies do you remember? Which one deserves a comeback? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still remembers their favorite childhood treat. Until next time, this is Mr. O, bringing sweet memories back to life.